Morning. It's Friday. House is cleaned, and I'm ready. Well, I'm just gonna take coffee and then kind of go from there. So I don't have a whole lot slated right away, but I got some projects in mind. I'd like to get I'd like to get some beans canned, and I'd like to make a bee vacuum. I went over to my uncle's last time. He said he had bees over there. Turned out they were bumblebees, so I didn't. Yeah, I didn't bring those home. But it made me realize that bee removal is a good addition to my bees nest, if you would say. So it's a good, I got to thinking that's a legitimate route to go, and I like to then. I'm going to make a vacuum for that. So I got myself one of them bucket head vacuums, and then cobble some buckets and make a bee vacuum, and then I guess maybe I should offer my services and see where it goes from there. An interesting route to go, but hey, that's on the road to self-employment. Let's see. I also cleaned a closet. That was kind of exciting. So here it is. I took the sugar out. I put that in the pantry. The spinner used to be there, but it's always annoying getting it out with the door there, so I put it this side. Stacked. These are all my glass jars where I store honey in. Hung my bee backpack. I put all my tools in there, and then I just organized this kind of small area. When I was at my uncle's, I also got a little new friend. This little bugger. How are you? He got so many cats around, and he said, "Here, if you want one, take one." I got to thinking, I could use a mouser. I'm a practical man, so it's fun having a little bugger around. But he's a very friendly cat. I say that, very friendly. Yeah. She stays outside. She's an outside cat. I don't like cats in the house, and I'm such a mean man. But they can stay outside, and they can, they have to work for the residents. I say that. But yeah, I'm gonna sit down, have coffee, and then kind of formulate my thoughts and go from there. Aye. Alright, so I went through the garden, I picked some beans, and I started realizing that I didn't have a lot of these bush beans planted, at least not for this specific kind. The other ones are really for seed beans, and they have a different makeup to them, so you can't really use them nicely for green beans. These ones at least have, they start forming the seed and the pod. The other one, they have really long pods, but they're very thin, the seeds just haven't developed yet. So what I would like to do, it's nice to have sometimes green beans on its own right, but probably what I'll do next time is save seed from these green bean bushes and then plant them in a separate area away from the dry beans, and then so that I can harvest from there, and then leave the other ones to seed. So I'll probably leave the rest of the seed from wherever it comes, and this will be more for, I guess, fresh eating, and I guess I won't be saving too many of them. But on the other hand, I have these blocks. So that beehive I set up yesterday, these are going to be the stop blocks for it. So I pre-drilled these holes. That's where they'll attach to the front of the lid, and then I just use this to hang it up so that I could hold it from somewhere. I hung them on the laundry line over there, and then I painted them last weekend, and there's a little coat of urethane on there. So I'll put these on one of the hives, and then at least that will be ready. So I got both of them. Gives a little bit of a nice accent to it. And then maybe start on that bee vacuum. Okay, so I just, as you can see, the lid holds itself, so that's that. The little helpers kicking around. There's the little blocks I put in now. I figure it looks a little interesting. Maybe I should go in there with a little bit of red paint still and just touch it up, just make it a little bit, less noticeable. But I think it looks nice. Works. It's a little bit warped. We'll call it a design choice. And then yeah, so this one is this one's ready for bees, minus the actual entrance that needs rope. And then that one still needs a stop block too. I'm thinking about trying a roller chain method to that. So you take like bike chain, you screw it on the inside and onto the top, and that in that way, because roller chain don't go side to side, so it can't get caught in the lid. It'll just fold in on itself. So I don't know, I had that idea for a while. I think it would work. I don't see why not. But that's the way it's always in one line. Because one thing, I've used chains before, but if you use just chain, it can go sideways, and then it gets, you know, it can get caught under the, in between in the lid there. So it gets a little bit annoying. That's why I like the stop blocks the most, just because they're the simplest to put in, the easiest to use, and I think they look good. And for the most part, you don't actually see them. I do like that, how that one turned out, just with, but the, you know, those hinges are, they're not expensive, but you know, you still have to, you actually have to buy something for them. Those ones, you know, they're hidden under the roof, so it's not bad. And most of these, anything with a pitched roof, you don't see them, and they just blend right in. So this one's a little, because of the roof style, it's, I guess, a little more pronounced, but yeah, we'll see where the rest of the day goes. Okay, so I got the first part for the bee vacuum built. That's, well, built, but the bucket head sits on top of here, and I've just cut the bottom off just on the table saw, butt up against the fence. It works pretty decent. It didn't go all the way, you know, it's kind of slid off at the end there, but it'll still work. It's the next bucket in there that actually draws the vacuum. And then oh, it was a very simple idea. Found it from a different fellow on good old YouTube, because I'm a YouTube university. It's where you learn everything. It's and then in the meanwhile, I got this one fixed up again. Well, fixed, but I got the stud on there. So there you go. Second nut is on there. Tightened it up. Chain's on there. Seems to be. Could be a little. I don't know. I've been having trouble tightening it, but it could be. I feel like it could be a little looser. But yeah, it runs again, so at least we can still adjust that. The biggest thing is getting the whatchamacallit, the actual container for the bees. I'll have to figure out. Well, I'll go find a bucket. I'm gonna probably use a 6-gallon, just to maximize my capacity, and then I have to pick up some fittings and some. I think I might still have mesh for. Well, I don't actually need mesh. I just gotta drill a bunch of holes for ventilation, and then yeah, go from there. All right, so progress is being made. And you know, just to say that I didn't come up with this design. I saw this from Bruce, a guy called Bruce from Bruce and his V's, and even he says it's not his design either. He just got it from somebody else too. So that's how YouTube goes. But yeah, the idea is that this one goes over that. This kind of seals it off. I put the bucket vac on there, and then I have this. I found this lid here. It's nice. It's got a gasket in there, so that'll be actually attached to this. So that then the hose is going to come somewhere in the side here, and then when the vacuum is on, it'll draw a vacuum through here, through there. And so all the bees will be stuck in here. And what I'm going to do now, see how far down the overlap goes, and then drill holes all in the top of this, and big enough, just as much space as I can get in there, but not big enough for the bees to get through. So I'll be drilling those, and then maybe down the side, and I might do some sort of ventilation on the bottom to create more of a draft in there. But I do need for sure in the lid, I think I will have some sort of vent screen in here that'll also act as a damper or a draw for the vacuums, so that when it's in use you can have it closed, just like how I put the seed cleaner. But then during transport you want this thing fully ventilated as much as you can, because those bees can, especially on the hot days, they'll overheat themselves, and then you got problems on your hands. So I'll get, I should see what's the biggest size that a bee cannot pass through, ideally, and then see what that is and go from there. Okay, well, I'm gonna run out to and run some errands just to get those hose fittings, do that. I was thinking about picking up metal, but then I decided I'm gonna make a different project out of wood. I'll probably have to explain that later. Right now, remember this pan? I got it made a while ago. I did a wet test on there, and this is the wax pan, so I had to see if it holds water, find any leaks in there, because last time I did this there was a pinhole here and a pinhole here. Nothing so far. I'll just leave that, but so far those were the only two I saw last time. I just went to the farm. My brother's there, he's welding right now, so perfect time. He tacked up the corners, you can see he beefed up the weld, and then he went on the outside here and he just filled it in, and I ground it down already. So so far I think that should be it. But that's the wax pan, and it fits the stove, the full thing, so all the elements can go on just like a low heat. And then the idea is melt wax in there, and I can make full framed foundation, which is just nice example. This is a single Langstroth frame, but as you can see, I will be able to fit two in there, because these are because my frames are double the size of that in length, at least. Width is the same, but it needs to be double that. So I'll do that and get the hose fittings, and I think that really should be it. Ideally, I want to get this bee vacuum done. Then I want to make like a cross-cut sled for a skill saw, and if I really think about it, that would be actually quite nice for just making a cross-cut sled for the table saw. So I got a different idea now. I just don't have the, my table saw is not the longest thing. What if I extend it? I have to look into that. This is what you get when you film live. I don't have a script. No, I don't have a script. But I'll see where the day goes. Right now, I always just run around. I kind of pick things up here and there, and then kind of see where it goes. And I got ideas, I got plans, I got a general outline, and just see where things go. I think I might have a name for the cat, though. I'm trying to figure that one out. So yeah, I'll go run those errands. Okay, so I ran out uptown, got some fittings, and it was neat. I got picked up others, the mail and whatnot too. But either way. With the mail, I finally got this one. So this is the spigot for what is to be my future manure spreader. So that opens up possibilities for this weekend now. And there's hope it should fit, but we'll see about that. It's a little bit complicated now because that is full. So I can unscrew the old one and maybe try to quickly put that on, or I just let it drain out. Picked up more of these screws, but the big thing was I needed to get a fitting for my bee vacuum, something that fits this. And I was looking around for a long time trying to find different PVC fittings, and I had a setup that would work, but it was like $12. And then after all that searching, I looked behind in the black PVC, and I found this, and this is only $3. And I wanted to make two of them, so I almost went out and spent up probably around $25 on fittings, and then I found $6 worth of fittings. While these are, I think, almost $3 a piece, which is, I don't get how they charge so much for this, but either way, the hose fits right in there, right in. It's always easy to do when you have one hand, but it fits very snugly into there, so that's nice. And there was other fittings there that cheap enough that fit snug, but this one, it's got a thread on there, and that's actually just to cinch that's what to actually what I'm gonna guess is to receive the next pipe, and that's actually what tightens it. And then, but what I want to use it for is to pinch it between the barrels, so that will be kind of put like a gasket on each side, and just pinch it, screw it tight, so then it acts as, a tight spot for the hose, and it acts as a way of connecting it to the barrel. So I thought that was a win-win. And then these are just once you're done with the bees, you unplug it, and then this is your plug, so that the bees can't get out. So that's the idea behind that. So I will probably get around to figuring that out. I need to make some gaskets for it, see what I can do for that, and then go from there. Alright, so I picked some pickles, and I got those. There's not enough to do any canning with, to be honest, so I'm fermenting those. So that's off to the side. Now I'm working on the bee vacuum again. I get sidetracked here and there, but it's a bit of a slow progress. It's just repetitive is all. But I'm drilling holes. Why not just put cloth on top? Good question. I figured this was easier. I don't know. I figured it's more hole. If you did like mesh or something, you would still have to drill bigger holes, and then you have to secure the mesh. And I figured patience. Yeah, but see, it goes. It's not bad. I'm just gonna do the whole piece like that, and that should provide a good bit of ventilation. And then I'll figure out where to put the whole the plumbing apparatus, and I need to make a little piece for the lid, a vent on the lid as well. So yeah, this I guess will be the prototype. So I have one. I've got enough fittings for two, but I don't know if I'm going to be drilling holes in the second bucket today. Yeah, like I said, this is repetitive, and you're constantly with the drill, and it's not just oh well, it goes. Alright, so the holes are drilled. That was a good bit of work. And yeah, I kind of just smoothed them out inside, outside, and I tell you what, it's a very good cat, this one. It's got some very good predatory instincts. Got a little mousy toy that hits on a spring, and oh boy, I should toss it up, a little video in there. But she was doing a good job, so I'm very happy. Yeah, I'm gonna get this plug located somewhere on there, and then I will have to deal with some sort of vacuum, an extra layer of I don't know, some sort of regulatory vacuum draw on the lid, along with the closure piece, and then that'll be the one spot I actually do use some sort of. I think I got some mesh kicking around. I'll use mesh for that because it has to be, yeah. Or does it? I could just draw a circle in there and keep all the holes in the circle. Have the disc. Hey, that would work too. There we go. Okay, so I put the thing together. There's the bucket head, and I just got this piece on there. This just slides in there. It's a good tight fit, and then yeah, it's a little loud, but it does work. So there's that. And then you can also, if you really want to, you could kind of strap a cord between there and there. It kind of acts as an extra lock. I don't have the damper on the bottom yet, so that's still something I have to do. And but I think other than that, I still have to make the holes in the plug. Ideally, that then just drill that out. That'll make for some extra ventilation. Because once so you're done, then you just pull this out, and then you can put this in, and that should seal it up. And that also, once it has holes in there, then it creates a circulation. You take the top off, just like so, and then you would have this would just be a bucket full of bees theoretically. And then so that's plugged. This is a good tight lid, and I would transport them probably like that. Then they have all of this to actually, they should be transported on their side. Now I think of it, that spreads the weight across. They can still fan out everything. They can create a cross draft, especially when you have the bottom piece there. You can open that up to allow even more ventilation. And then, yeah, when you get to the hive at home, then just stand straight up and 3, and as you can see, all the bees will you can put them straight in the hive. So as you see, it does work. And yeah, again, that damper can be adjusted. It's the last thing I need to do, so I'll scribe a circle on there. I'm thinking about just have a piece of aluminum with a slight bend in there, with one kind of a bolt as a pivot, and because of the bend, it'll want to stay flush on there. And then yeah, we'll see how that goes. Alright, so I think, as far as I see, I'm done. So I got this piece done now. It's just a piece of aluminum. There's a slight bend in here. So, and then when the screw bolt is bolted through, it compresses that, and it keeps it a little tighter to the face. But then you can open it fully. There's all holes. You can then close it for maximum vacuum, or you can adjust it for vacuum. But then during transport, you can just have it fully open. It's just I just bent these up a bit. I could have done it actually a lot more now I think of it, but it didn't need to be much. Kind of looks like a bee now I think of it. You put the eyes over there. Yeah, there we go. But I figured demonstrate how this works. So it's just screwed up. It's just pressed on there, and then this one just sits on top of it, and it's just a friction fit. So that's how most of this is. And then this too, what is the plug in here now? That's a little looser than I'd like. I have to look into that. But this is actually a very tight fit as well, but I guess you don't want these things coming apart when you're working. I should find a better washer. So I got foam in here now, but I haven't actually tried it yet and see how good it actually has it drawn. Made in Mexico. Huh, we don't see that often. Maybe Mexico becomes the next China. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. Sooner have it on the continent than overseas. I digress. This thing works pretty good. So, yeah, you can adjust the vacuum on the bottom, as I said, and then when it's, these are all in there, and you just take this out, put this in. Now we're ready for transport, and then separate. And I would orient the bucket a little bit differently. there needs to be a good friction fit. And then this is the working. Really, the cord should be wherever it's not in the way the handle, because the way it's engineered, you can actually move the handle and the slots into here. It's pretty neat, and it actually stays upright. Neat little vacuum. I like the idea of it. And then so you transport them, and then just put the gate fully open. We got ventilation here, and a little bit. And that's actually the last thing I need to do, is drill some holes in there, and then it should be all done. And now I'm ready to. You can hear it's all the bees in there now. But I'm now hypothetically ready for cutouts. That's pretty darn exciting. Yeah, I probably have to figure out. I don't like the connection right there. It feels a little too flimsy how loose that's on there, but it should hold. So yeah, we'll drill those holes, and then say it's 95% done. Maybe I'll come up with something better. If I find this is a foam gasket that I cut to size, but if I find something like a rubber, that will probably be better. Yeah, I have rubber. I have an old floor mat from a car I found in the bush one day. That might work. Okay, now I'm done. Outside of, I guess, cleaning the actual unit, I could do that. But as you can see, so you see that plastic, there's the black and there's the white-ish clear plastic, and that's how you say, it pinches together and it expands, and that's what makes that's what tightens around the actual pipe, or what it was meant for. But with the addition of that 1/8 plywood, now I have it's a solid connection in there, and from this end it's easier to actually get the hose on, but it's still a very nice and snug fit. You can just see the end of it there, but it's a lot easier to get in and out. This is just, it's tight on there, and here are the holes, they're drilled. Yeah, it's not perfectly clean, but it's such a bugger to get the rest of them out, and then I guess on a small piece like this I could just re-drill it, but there you go, there's the plug, and then you can tighten that in there, and I mean, they're pretty solid, so actually they're almost easy to get in and out. So that's the bee vacuum. So that's the nice thing is, so that's the power unit, and then this is a, I don't know, I guess we call it a bee cylinder, a bee storage, bee capture device. So if I want, I can make a second one. You know, if you were to do more than one cutout at a time in the same area, I guess. But yeah, well, I like to try out this design first, and I got, like I said, I got the hardware to make a second one, and that's the most time-consuming piece right there, is drilling the holes. But I think it is, one, it's stronger than having mesh in there, and two, is just more secure. If the mesh lets go, you don't want the bees getting out of there once they're in there, I'll say that. Until you want them to go out. Before that, anytime before that, it's not going to be a fun day. But yeah, that's interesting. That's just one thing that I wanted to, what I realized that I should be set up for. I should be able to remove hives. If I'm gonna do more beekeeping, then I should be able to have the ability to do cutouts, and so who knows? I now can actually, now I have the equipment, now I can actually offer my services, so we'll see how that goes, see how that pans out. Oh, and this little bugger found a fun, nice cozy spot to, not fast asleep. Okay, give a little bit of an update on the garden. Just because I'm not always in here, but I just went through the sorghum. It's doing really nice. The corn, it's not bad. It really perked up after the hog manure. But I'm looking here at my strawberries now. And this is kind of my propagation bed. I want to move them out, but this is where they do pretty well in here. and they were very bad in the beginning of the year, but I gave them that liquid cow manure. I made that slurry, and it went from almost no strawberries to these things now. Look at the size of these buggers. So they're doing pretty well, actually. I'm feeling that might not be the only ones, but oh, we got one there. And there's still, there's still more coming. You can still see, I just saw the flowers. So they're still, these go in pretty late. The garlic is almost getting ready for harvest. And these stalks are about to die back soon. And, oh, I'm getting some of these already. Oi. It was neat too to see, like, some of this mustard is getting very close to harvest. I've got oats. There's my my green patch. And actually, there's some flax coming through too. So I seeded some flax, but the wheat did pretty decent actually. So I like how tall this stuff is. It's just a good natural wheat. No, not some. This was actually, I think it's more of a heritage variety. But it looks really nice, and yeah, it doesn't look like a lot, but you get a fair number of seed, and for every one seed you get a pretty decent return back. And this will probably be just seed for next year. Oh, it's the beginning of August right now, and things are starting to get into that harvest time. You got a bunch of these. It's a nightshade of sorts, but it got all these little berries on there. And I also found out that the chickens are quarantined again. I found that they can actually get through that net, because I was looking through my squash, and I wasn't the only one that was looking through the squash. So I took the bad ones out and gave that to them. But this was the squash I had most hopes for. Because just because this was the one I direct seeded late, and is still doing better than some that were direct seeded, 3 months to a month early. But it's still going. I should have to go check the ones in the back there, but some oats that I don't know where these oats came from. I think they came from the silage that was spread here. But you can see the orange on that. Nice pumpkins in there. Lots of spaghetti squash. And yeah, plenty more where that came from. The sorghum's heading out, so it's looking nice. The corn, well, you see there's some ears forming. The ears are forming, and I'll say it's doing a lot better after that application of manure. So I'm hoping to get something out of it. It would be nice. It should do a lot better next year. Now, this is the first year that the land's been opened up, and you can see it's not this strip of land here is kind of the fertile area, but you go past this, and especially past those posts, it's just really needs some work. There's a problem around there. Oh, another big pumpkin out there. Let's just see it there. Yeah, it's interesting to see. So you stop once in a while, just see what's going on. See what little surprises are left here. So, yeah, I'm happy where things are at. I wish I had to do something better with. I like to have the chickens out, but I don't want them. Yeah, they messed up my squash. I've had to cut a few out now, and but we'll see what harvest brings. Well, I went through the first stroll in the bush there. I was looking for rocks, and I figured I'd go check out the grafts for the plum trees, and then I found plums. A good many plums. No, I didn't think to have a basket with me, so I had to improvise. That's just one, not one tree, but there's a couple trees in one patch. I picked these all off the ground. I'll quickly go through them, and that was heavy. I see that. That's the most plums I've ever seen. I'm going to quickly wash these, store them, and then looks like we got some canning to do.